been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a note. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time.
Welcome to Sports Talk. Let's let the talk begin. And what we're talking about, well, what I'm talking about is the NFL 2009 season. This is my opinions on who I think has a chance at taking it all this year. Alright, I don't like calling predictions because predictions is I just don't like the word predictions, to be perfectly honest. So this is my opinions, okay? I'm going to give you 3 teams in the AFC, 3 teams in the NFC. So let's get it started. Shit. Welcome to True Sports Talk. Let's let the talk begin. And what I'm talking about is my opinions on who I think could take it all in the 2009 NFL season. Alright? I'm going to give you 3 teams in the AFC, 3 teams in the NFC. Let's start it off with the AFC. The San Diego Chargers. I really like the San Diego Chargers for the simple fact that when their offense is clicking, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. You got Phillip Rivers, one of the best quarterbacks right now in the NFL. He's going to show you why he deserves that contract that he got, if he didn't already from last year. You had LaDainian Tomlinson, who was looking to redeem himself from last year, because there was a lot of critics last year saying that he's too old, he's getting older, and he might be over the hill. He has something to prove, and he will prove it this year. Trust and believe me. You have Vincent Jackson, who's an up-and-coming receiver who had 1,000 yards receiving year on only 50-something catches last year. So you have Darren Sproles again. You have Chris Chambers, who's a decent receiver. You have Antonio Gates, and then now you add Sean Marion back to that defense to apply pressure on opposing quarterbacks. You just gotta like the Chargers. I think it's their year. They're always close, but I think they're going to get it this year. Well, they have a chance of getting it this year. Put it that way. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers. Simply put, their defense is back. The #1 defense in the league, which a lot of people are saying they might even be better than last year, which is scary when you think about it. So, you put that #1 defense with an offense who's capable of scoring. You have Big Ben, a quarterback who's starting to mature even more and not cost his team games. It's a very scary team to face because they have running backs who could put in work with Willie Parker, Mendenhall, Milwaukee Moore. Then you got Hines Ward and Antonio Holmes on the outsides causing havoc. So, Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, you have to go with this team every time this guy's under center. Tom Brady and New England Patriots. Patriots had one of the best offenses last year with Matt Castle. So adding Tom Brady back into the mix is a very scary offense. And now they added Joey Galloway, another deep threat. So now he has Joey Galloway, Randy Moss, and Wes Welker to play with. Plus the running back by committee really does a great job giving them like 700, 800 yards each. So you gotta like the Patriots. Let's move on to the NFC. Now, my NFC picks are a little risky to some. To me, they make perfect sense. And I'm starting off with the New Orleans Saints. Why? #1 offense. That offense is unstoppable. They can outscore any team in the league. Last year, they had over 400 total yards per game. Drew Brees threw for over 300 yards per game. And the team just scored 29 points per game. That's offense. And they're coming back, same offense. But now Pierre Thomas is the starting running back from the jump. And that puts Reggie Bush in the best position possible. That wild card. So line him up at wide receiver, even line him up in a wildcat, have him return kicks. So, and then the defense last year was the question mark for the Saints, and that's probably why the Saints didn't make it to the playoffs. They revamped it a little bit, added some pieces. So just having a decent, average defense with the best offense, that gives that team a chance of taking it all the way. Next, the Chicago Bears. Now this one, it took me a while to think about, but I really like it, just because last year, Cal Orton was able to lead them to 9-7. Cal Orton is not the same quarterback Jay Cutler is. Now, everybody want to say they don't have receivers. Cal Orton, like I said, led them 9-7. Jay Cutler guaranteed he could at least win 10 or 11 games. And their schedule was not all that tough. So that is simple for them to do. And then, trust me, Brian Urlacher, I know he's getting tired of hearing about the defenses, the Tennessee Titans, the Steelers, the Ravens. Chicago Bears want to be back in the names of great defenses. So I'm pretty sure that defense is going to make a resurgence this year. So I have the Chicago Bears possibly getting to the Super Bowl and possibly being their year. This one really hurts me to say, especially being a Cowboys fan, but Philadelphia Eagles. Just because their offensive weapons that they have this year, it's good enough to get Donovan Knapp to where he want to be and to finally do what he's been trying to do all along. win a Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about Michael Vick. Even if they didn't have Michael Vick, because he's not that game changer right now. I don't think. So I'm talking about the drafting of Sean McCoy, the drafting of Macklin. Adding that with Deshaun Jackson, who once he gets his hands on the ball, you never know what's going to happen. Then you have Kevin Curtis, who's a very capable receiver. He's very underrated. He's coming back to this year healthy. You have Brian Westbrook still. That's a very capable offense of putting up some good numbers, especially with Donovan McNabb. And then the defense is the only question mark I have, just because they lost their leader, Brian Westbrook. He's no longer there, and also they lost the best defensive coordinator of my generation. So that's the only question mark I see in the Eagles, is that defense. How do they adapt to all the things that happen this offseason? Now, there's some teams that I could have mentioned that I didn't, like the Tennessee Titans. Why? I don't see Kerry Collins putting up that year again. They don't have receivers still, and he's really not the best quarterback. He's getting older, so I just don't see him handling it. Lindell White, Chris Johnson can't lead this team all by themselves. The Colts, Peyton Manning, still one of the best quarterbacks in the game. They have a new coach, though, and I don't know how that's going to translate this year. Other teams, I hear so many people still stuck on the New York Giants, thinking the New York Giants are going to take it to the Super Bowl. Me, I don't. Yes, they have a great defense. But have you seen their offense this preseason? Pretty ugly. They don't have a receiver to throw it to. Brandon Jacobs, all they're going to do is put 8 in the box on Brandon Jacobs and force these receivers to make a name for themselves. If that happens, then New York Giants have a shot, but I don't see it happening. Dallas Cowboys, since I'm a Cowboys fan, I got to mention it. I just don't know this year. I have no clue what this team's going to do. Sorry to say. But any other team that you guys want to know about, just put them down there, comment. I comment back. I read every comment. So, TrueSportsTalk.com. Go there, read the blogs. I'm out.